Hey everybody, thank you for joining us here on Bell's Palsy Talk. If you're joining us live or a little bit later. Today I'm really excited to be talking to Paige. She's going to share her story with us about her experience with Ramsay Hunt. Now, I know we're the Bell's Palsy Club here, but there's so many similarities between Bell's Palsy and Ramsay Hunt that we wanted to kind of chat and let people know, especially if you're newly diagnosed, what the questions would be to ask to your health practitioners to make sure you're advocating for yourself here. Hi, Trisha, and hi, Kat. Thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to ask Paige to join us now, and here we go. Hi, Mel. Nice to see you today. Happy Monday. Hi.
Hi.
Paige, how are you doing?
So nice to see you. Hello.
Hi. Yes, I know. It's so exciting. We didn't, for those watching, it's exciting for us. We chat kind of behind the scenes before we get to do a live. So it's always nice to meet people for real here. And I am just loving how the, for all that social media has its challenges, it's such a fantastic tool for us to be able to talk like this and share our stories. So for those joining us, we do have a bunch of people joining us here today live. That's fantastic. Hi to everybody and happy Monday. So Paige actually has Ramsay Hunt, which is very similar to Bell's palsy in some ways. And that's why some people with Bell's palsy and vice versa sometimes do get misdiagnosed. So Paige also, and I wanted to make sure that I let everybody know about your website. Now, what's it called? My wonk something.
It's called onthewonk.online.
Onthewonk.online. I love it.
Yeah, I wanted to give it something that was like really candid. I find that so many pieces of information that we're given come with seriousness, which of course it needs, but I needed to give it a very personal, day by day sort of feel. And as I wanted to give it a look that sort of made people feel like they were reading a lifestyle blog for them, like it wasn't a medical page. It was a bit of fun, and it's a bit of, we're left with this challenge of not being able to like blink or eat or talk properly, all these things, it can get us down. So having something that was a bit more fun and didn't feel like you were sat having to read loads of medical information was really important to me.
Because that's the first thing we look up. So we've all seen all that stuff before. And, I think that we're on the same wavelength. We, have been chatting is that just bringing support to our community here. And, even if people don't have Bell's palsy or Ramsay Hunt, I like to be an advocate for self-care, slowing down, the lessons that I've learned through this journey, whether we like it or not. Here we are. So I love your website. I checked it out and it's great. Love the photos and everything on there. So make sure everybody check that out. Now, okay, so Paige, let us know about your experience. When you woke up, of course, we all have that first day. So
I remember it so well. It was the 25th of August. So I'd been having some ear pain for a couple of days, thinking, I've just got an ear infection. I'll go to the doctors. Well, I called him because obviously we couldn't see anyone because of COVID. So I was given some antibiotics, took the day off work. And I was really lucky because my boyfriend had been sent home from work early, around midday, home with me. And I was eating lunch and I said to him, I was like, does my mouth look weird to you? It feels like it's pulling. And he was like, no, it looks fine. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, it tastes a bit metallic as well. And so didn't think anything of it, went to sleep, and then woke up a couple of hours later, and I said to him, I was like, I'm not being funny, but my eyebrow is like here, and I couldn't move this corner of my mouth so much. And it was amazing to have him there because his older brother 5 years ago had Bell's palsy.
Really?
And so his face had instantly dropped whilst watching the TV. And he turned around to me and said, maybe you've got what he had. And I, having him there, because if I was on my own, I would have thought, oh my word, I'm 24 years old and having a stroke. Like, what are you supposed to think when that happens?
I don't even know if I would have thought of, sorry to interrupt, but for mine took a couple days as well. Like I wasn't, like you're saying, some people it's just like literally sudden onset. I don't even know if I would have thought of a stroke. I honestly, I was like, oh, I gotta sinus infection. I had kids. I had stuff going on. So same as you. I don't even think that would have dawned on me.
No, exactly. But no, he took me to A&E, and I sat there for 4 hours, and those 4 hours I could just see my brow getting lower and lower, and I was like, someone please help me.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, they diagnosed me with Bell's palsy. At the time I had no indication that it was Ramsay Hunt. I had no rash, I had no pain. It was just that sort of feeling behind my ear, the droopiness happening, the change in taste. I was given steroids. I think I was given like 10 tablets to take each day, so it was 100 in total, and 2 eye patches, and they said patch it until it closes, and it didn't close for about 5 or 6 months. So 2 patches wouldn't have lasted very long.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the help, right?
Right, I was like, the amount of money I've spent at the pharmacy getting like boxes and boxes of eye patches is, you know, I'm probably the one that kept them in business. But yeah, so I was off work for about 2 months. I had horrendous head pain. I was told it was neuralgia. I had blisters all in my mouth, which happened a week later actually, and the doctor said, oh, maybe it's Ramsay Hunt syndrome, and I was like, no, I'm sure it's because I'm taking like 100 steroid tablets. Like, that was one of the side effects. So I was given 2 medications to cover whichever one it was, but by that point it was too late for Ramsay Hunt. That needs to be the same as Bell's palsy, so the steroids and antivirals within 72 hours. Yeah. And it wasn't until I met my neurologist in January where she said, you very rarely get severe head pain with Bell's palsy.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask.
Yeah, so it was that insane, like, it was so bad, all the pain in my head, it was all down my face and my neck. And she said that the blisters in your mouth would have been Ramsay Hunt showing up and you just weren't treated.
Well, because that's the shingles, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Right. It's caused by shingles. Anyone who's had chicken pox, you know, that lies dormant in your system. And if you're unlucky enough, it just pops up, you know, and says, hi, I'm still here. I'm next to you.
Yay, you're so lucky. You're a winner. You get to have
exactly. You're the special one.
Who needs to win $1 million, right?
Exactly. So since January, I've been doing Botox injections. I've been doing physiotherapy. I am starting just therapy in general this week, actually, to help sort of tackle that emotional side, because I've done a lot of things like, thank you, eating well, exercising, being more positive, things like that. But I just need that extra bit of help to, you know, get me over that, because the emotional side, I think, is tough. That's the worst part.
Yeah, and that's the part that I think that you like to speak about more, and myself as well. I think there's lots of experts out there. I mean, we do like to touch on, okay, if you have blisters in your mouth, make sure you ask more and things like that. But that's what I like to touch on as well, is the emotional, you know, for me, it's been almost 7 years. And, you know, I mentioned it in my last interview as well. Like, I just got married and, you know, you get the pictures, and I've spent 6 years relearning how to smile. And usually, you know, I smile with my mouth closed and it's all staged. So when it's a candid photo or laughing, then I'm like, the first thing you look at is your wonky eye or your smile or all those things. And that doesn't go away. You know, if you know, you're not the lucky one to heal 100%, it doesn't go away. And, you know, I like to share that emotional part, and nobody understands that except for us. Suffering from that. I mean, it's like any support group, Weight Watchers, anything like that. You bond together with people who know and can joke around about it. That's why I love your website, because, like you're saying, it's not a joke, but I mean, we got to laugh about it. I mean, we're stuck with it, so might as well.
Exactly. Yeah, when you're left with this extra thing to deal with in life, I think part of you has to be able to see the lighter side of it in order to get through it. You know, like, there have been countless days where I've been upset, I've been frustrated, I've been angry, I've been emotional, all these things, but I've had to really find the positive things that have come out of it and how much I've learned. And sort of, it feels bigger than my personal experience now. It feels like, okay, this is something, facial palsy in general is something that not a lot of people know about. So it feels like we have to spread this awareness and share our stories, because that's the only way that people learn. If you look at history, that's how you know, continue to learn, is through stories passed on and on. So I just thought it's super important that we keep doing this.
I do. And, you know, me too. And I'm so glad to have found you, because I really think that, you know, that's what motivates me. And I know you're the same. You've said that is, there's a reason for this. You know, a lot of people who follow me, you know, have trouble with that. And that's just my opinion. I know you feel the same, where this is, it's not like it's a gift, but it's a wake up call to be like, you know, hey, you need to be sharing more or helping people or healing in some way. And I feel like this is my contribution, is just chatting with people being like, hey, something that you say might resonate with them, something that I randomly say because I'm, you know, Babylon, might resonate with them on certain days. And that's all we can do, is just stick together, and, you know, we're not alone. So now that you're in the therapy and you sound like you're similar to me, people always ask me, you know, oh, what worked? Don't know. Tried it all. Tried the essential oils, tried the acupuncture, tried the therapy, physical therapy, you know, and I think all those things, I mean, if it's not going to hurt, right? It's not chemicals. It's not those things. Acupuncture for me, I talk about a lot. It did. I don't know if it necessarily helped the Bell's palsy, but lying there for an hour, resting and meditating, you know, half there, half not, like, you know, half asleep, that sure helped me, because, and the resting, you know, regardless of, you know, there's always controversy about, you know, yes, 90, we know it's because of, you know, shingles, herpes, chicken pox virus, etc., cold sore in there, you know, people, oh, the cold fan and all that, like, whatever. But rest is the thing you need, because it is a virus of some kind. You need antivirals, you need the prednisone, and then you need to rest. Straight up. I didn't get out of bed for two weeks. I wasn't, like, the depression didn't really set in right away. I don't know about you. I kind of was like in shock, like, really register, but I was very tired.
I had to, like, process it. I think what happened first is I was a lot like you. I spent 7 weeks on my sofa sleeping, and then slept all night. You know, like, I was like, how am I able to sleep so much? It was insane. But yeah, I don't think I think in the beginning you focus so much on the physical healing, don't you? Think, I've got to get that back. I've got to do what I can to make that happen. And then, especially when you're, you know, left with synkinesis, you're left with, you know, sort of more long-term immobility. When that realization starts to kick in, mine kicked in about 4 months later. And I was sat there like, wow, I thought this would be over. But here I am, and this is me for the rest of my life. And that really just, like, hit me like a wall. It was really,
I think I was about the same, probably 3 months, because, you know, my mom looking it up, and, you know, there's even more information now. Like, when I looked for it, there wasn't, like, Facebook groups and stuff, but she's like, oh, so, you know, some people, you know, heal after 3 days, and you're like, oh, 3 days, I can do 3 days, and then a week, and then you're like, well, maybe I'm going to be one of the 2 week people, and then the month, and then it's 6 weeks, and then, like you're saying, then it sets in, like, maybe I'm not one of those ones that's going to come back 100%, right? So, absolutely. You know, you're like, okay. And, you know, a lot of people ask me that, like, how did you deal with it? Well, what are you going to do? You can either literally lie in bed and cry for the rest of your life, or, you know, you get up and deal with it. And, you know, it's not easy, but you got to do it. And, you know, I had 2 young kids, which did help the situation, because you know, I mean, their dad was, they're going to do something, you have to get up, you have to go out, you have to do the things.
Absolutely.
I, you know, with the eye patch, and I couldn't drive, and all those things, we've all been through it, and it sucks. It also sucks because, you know, like we're saying, you can get up, but, you know, it's not like you have a, you know, an illness where you're oh, you know, it's XYZ and they're in the hospital or whatever. It's like, you can,
yeah,
but you don't. It's just weird. And, you know, people listening, I'm sure you guys, everybody understands. So it's almost like people are like, oh, well, you're fine, but you're not fine. You look weird.
Oh, I know. I think that people that don't know you don't see it at first.
Totally.
And I completely understand that. But I'm very open to, when I meet new people, you know, if it comes up in conversation, just letting them know, because I think that sort of settles me, rather than having them think like, oh, you know, is something wrong with her? Is something not wrong with her? But the amount of times where I've had people say like, oh, you look fine. Oh, you know, it looks fine. And I'm like, my face is so tight. I'm in so much pain every day. Like, the emotional side has sent me over the edge. Like, it's a lot deeper than how you physically look. To me, it was losing your identity. You know, I now have a face and a smile. Like, I have quite big teeth, and my smile before was like huge. I would smile with all my teeth.
Yeah.
And, you know, I haven't been able to do that since August last year. And I almost feel like a different person.
Yeah.
It's such a huge, like, identity. I went through a big identity crisis. I like lost a stone in weight. I cut my hair. I was like, okay, well, if I can't be me, I have to be a new version of me. And I have to be comfortable with what I'm working with, which, you know, is going to take some time, but I'm on that way. So, you know, but I don't know about you, but I found it one of the most lonely and isolating experiences of my life. I think because
I don't know if it was lonely or isolating. I think it was just confusion. So similar, because I'm a take charge person, right? Like, I'm sure you are too. Like, okay, I have a problem. There's a problem here. What is the solution? Tell me what it is. Tell me how long it's going to be. I will do the things, you know, even if it's a year, let's do it. But there isn't those answers. And so, so I guess, a form of that as well. I was the same, super, you know, happy to be in photos, never shied away from it, had the open smile. And so I had to kind of relearn that. I had a job at the time running dance competitions, so we did a lot of promo photos that I would shy away from, which never the case. So, you know, over the years, you know, you get used to it. Like we said, like, what are you going to do? But,
do you find yourself taking pictures now if you're in a group? Like, you got to stay on your good side. Like, I need that bit that actually works.
And have the difference. Like, like I smile with my mouth closed now. And my current husband, you know, we met about 3 years ago or whatever, and we met online, and so the photos, and he was like, oh, that's interesting. You know, he's very intuitive. So it was interesting because he was like, oh, you just seem like a person that would smile more with your mouth open, or what, you know? And then that's what I told him. He's like, oh, same thing. When you meet people for the first time, they kind of don't know. But one of the, like, it was fine. Like, I didn't care, but we were at a restaurant. I was with some friends, and I had just met some, you know, new people or something like that. And when I eat sushi, I eat it with a knife and a fork, because you can't, like, eat it properly. And, you know, sushi is so big, right? Sometimes. So
I still try. I have to maneuver it, but get it all in. It's not cute to watch.
If you're at home, if I'm at home, I don't care. But so I'm eating with a knife and a fork. And he was just like, what are you doing? And of course, I'm always joking around, so it's not really something that someone wouldn't say. And it was one of the first times, but I was relieved, because I was like, oh, well, I have half a paralyzed face, so it's hard for me to eat sushi or whatever. And of course, he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, it's good. Like, I'd rather just get it out there, right?
Exactly. So,
it was so funny. It was really funny.
I can see you just chopping it up in half.
Well, like, what are you gonna do? So Kenta's daughter is going through the identity shift right now. So I mean, like we said, I think that the only thing we can kind of do, I don't think you need to reinvent yourself.
No.
I think that for me, it's, you know, like you were saying, you need to, like, reinvent and have what you were working with. And at the time, I think that's a healthy mentality. You were just like, okay, like, what do we got to work with? Cut your hair. That's okay. That's great. Like, it'll work, whatever. But I think I got to the point, and I can see that you have too, where you don't need to reinvent yourself.
No.
It's a smile. You figure out how to smile.
Yeah.
You know, I had one, I don't know if she's on here. She was on here earlier. I don't know, Auntie's Life. Were you still on here? Yeah, Auntie Life 125. I think that was you that said that, you know, she had like someone she was dating at the time, and, you know, he was just like broke up at the, like for it. So it's like, if you have people in your life like that, good message to get them out of your life anyway. So that's a gift.
Get rid of them.
Yeah. And then just focus on the people that are supportive, you know, take the lesson, you know, learn to slow down, because we're not invincible. Like the last interview I did, his name was Aaron. Was, you know, a retired Marine, and he said, we're not invincible. Like, I know we think we want to be, but humans aren't. So if you're not following what, a positive path in life, or things that you're supposed to be doing. For me, when I first got Bell's palsy, I wasn't using my voice. I was like people pleaser. I had, 2 young kids. So of course you're doing things for them because you're a mom, that part's fine. But then, I was the, when I write about that in my blog, I was the trying to be the perfect wife, the perfect friend, the perfect housekeeper, the perfect, all these things. And not using my voice, not voicing my opinion, not even thinking if I have an opinion. I didn't even know, right? So to me, I strongly believe that was the universe being like, okay, your mouth is paralyzed. We are paralyzed. You need to learn to listen. You need to stick up for yourself, even in my life. So that's where I started. And now, that's where, my path comes. And I think I'm in the right direction, but, listen carefully. And I think, if our face gets tensed up or things are happening, then you're like, you wake up and your mouth is more like this than normal. Then, you're kind of like, okay, like maybe, right? Maybe I'm not sticking up for myself. That's coming from somewhere, right?
Yes. So, I was so similar. Like before this happened, I would load all my work on. I wouldn't say no to anybody. I was seeing people that weren't actually bringing anything to my life. And then since this has happened, I have like completely changed how I approach things. So now when it comes to work, if it comes to like seeing certain people, I'm turning around and I'm saying no. I know what is good for me now, and I know that I can still be hardworking. I can be an incredible friend to the people that have, been so supportive, especially this past year. Working on being, like a really good girlfriend, a good daughter, all these sorts of things to the people that matter and the things that matter. Before I was doing so many, like I'm a creative person, so I was trying to do all these creative jobs, and then I sat down and I was ill, and I was like, is any of this actually bringing me any joy? And then when I realized that, I was like, well, maybe I should start a blog, and I don't gain anything financially from it, anything. And it's one of the things that I do for me, for other people, and it brings me so much. It makes me really content with what I'm doing. I feel like you said earlier, contributing to something. I feel like I'm actually putting something out there positively for myself and others. And so having those lessons from it, learning to slow down a little bit, know that I don't have to say yes to everything and everyone, has been really powerful, like really, really powerful.
Yeah, I'm the same. I started my vlog while I was, in bed, and after having Bell's palsy, and I took that leap as well. And I don't know if you felt the same way, that I always wanted to start a blog, but it was always like, oh, I don't really know how to make the website quite look good enough, or I don't know what to write about. So then I just did nothing. And then I just realized, or it literally dawned on me, that people will either read your stuff because they support you and want to read your stuff, or nobody will see it. So if nobody sees it, then who cares what it looks like? So I made it. I was really proud of myself. And, my writing has come a long way since then, but I'm the same as you. I had one counselor say to me, she's like, would you keep writing your blogs if you knew nobody was reading them? And yes, because it's kind of like journaling. It's a, you know, for me as well. Now I'm a public person. I like to public speak. I like to do things like this. So yes, I do like the, you know, to be on a bigger stage, but that is what I'm learning about self-care. It's not like somebody else is saying, hey, I need you to write this. I need you to do this to help support other people. It's for us. And also, like you're saying, you know, for me, same thing, being a good wife, being a good mom, but I'm not doing it for other people. There's a very fine line between that. Hey, like you saying, okay, you're be a good girlfriend. Well, you can also still say no, and making sure that you're getting, you know, that person is help feeding your cup as well. Like in the relationship, it doesn't mean that you're doing all the stuff all the time. There needs to be, you know, and it doesn't need to be like you take out the garbage one day, I take out the garbage another day. It's just you feel like you're getting what you're putting into whatever the project is. Yeah. Absolutely. And so, you know, that's what I'm learning. And we've gone way over time, and I probably could talk to you for like an hour.
Yeah, but, like we could keep going.
I would love to talk to you again. I would love to talk to you again anytime. And for those of us just joining us, make sure you follow Paige. Her outlook is fantastic. I love it. We talked a little bit about Ramsay Hunt, Bell's palsy, self-care. And both of us are advocates for self-care and trying to just laugh a little bit each day, because that's, you know, kind of what gets us through it. So thank you so much again for joining us. I'd love to have you on again. We can chat. Thank you so much for everybody joining us. We had 20 people joining us at one point, and I love that. I love that we can all come together. So you have a wonderful day. Let's be in touch, and everybody have a wonderful Monday.
Amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me. This has been amazing.
It was.
And I'm sure we'll speak again very soon.
You bet. I look forward to it.
Yes, me too. Thank you. Bye.